Zimbabwe cash crisis works. Talking about Venezuela once again.
Systemic important banks. They removed the one factor included thing on there called monetary awareness.
All right. Hope everyone is doing well. Wanted to check in for a quick little RTD news update, and just came across an interesting video in reference to the preparations for what has been considered D-Day, when the Queen passed officially today. That became day one of many days and steps and processes to unfold, of which a lot of things will be very chaotic in the days ahead. But it's one of those things where nothing is by accident, everything is intentional. And even with the announcement of her passing, I'm very suspicious of everything, so I'll never take anything at face value. But I want to share with you a couple articles, a couple headlines real quick, and then also point to you guys in the description. I put up the video that I shared on the Telegram channel, which does a much greater job of giving you the complete rundown of Operation London Bridge. And so it's going to be interesting, man. But anyway, hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the RT News Update. Won't be long. Just want to check in for a quick minute, share my 2 cents on some things, as well as get your take as well. And I had a little interaction with a couple people on the Telegram page, which really got my thoughts churning in reference to the possible political upheaval that might come as a result of this, as more of the territories of the crown might decide to shake some things up and move away from the current structure of that political system and its many complexities. But anyway, hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the live stream. If you have not already, definitely hit that thumbs up button. Show your support for the channel. And if you have not already, make sure you guys subscribe so you can stay plugged in at all times. And if you have not, make sure you guys subscribe to the Telegram channel. That's where I share all my news updates and stuff like that. But real quick, before I move forward, I want to continue to highlight more of my case as to why it's good to make sure you're connected just beyond YouTube here. And if I've mentioned it several times, I'm going to continue to do it, just because here's a quick headline that I shared earlier, and we can expect to see more of this. But I'll start off with this one here. This is from an alternative media source, but of course, it'll get no mainstream attention just because it's not designed to shine light on people who speak truth. But as of today, YouTube announces deletion of over 120,000 videos for misinformation. And so I've been warning people for the longest. Make sure that you stay connected with your favorite content creators well beyond YouTube, just because the Kraken is coming on top of all the other things as a way of keeping our attention and further keeping us divided as always. But anyway, let me just check into the chat real quick, acknowledge a few people, then I'll do a little maintenance on my side, then jump into some headlines, share my 2 cents, of course, get yours, and go from there. Dwayne Clark, what's up, my friend? Johnny Midas in the building. Pablo Pina, Debt Jubilee. September. I got some information about bank holidays in the UK starting tomorrow. What else we got here? Ann Tang, she died a while ago. I wouldn't be surprised one bit. It's just so fitting that if that was the case, that it's announced now in September, right before the possible banking event that a lot of people in the alternative media space is anticipating, to factor in the Vatican calling back all of their funds from around the different dioceses or whatnot. So it just seems very timely, to say the least. But it's going to be more than just the currency side of things, because along with the currency shakeup, we're going to have the political structure as well, because I'd imagine a lot of other nations, and even in the video that I referenced that's linked beneath this video here, one of the guys who was commentating was mentioning how Australia and a few other territories have already hinted at the idea of leaving from under the coffers of the British crown in a sense. So there might be, Prince Charles, soon to be announced as King Charles, if he chooses that name, will definitely be inheriting a different, I would say, kingdom, if that's what I want to call it, than his mom and his fellow ancestors had before him, because people at this current moment tired of being oppressed, and especially when you can pinpoint to your oppressors directly, that's another thing. So I don't think this transition is going to be smooth at all. And that's why I think there's going to be some real firework coming real soon. But before I dive into that, just let me do a little maintenance on my side here. I got to make sure I acknowledge the people who are being generous to the community as far as being a blessing to the community for our sponsorship. So let me stay with me right there. Let me share this information for those who might be new.
Here's a great opportunity for you to get your weight up. Let's face it, our purchasing power and our currency has been destroyed in real time. That's why I'm excited to tell you about my partnership with Bullion Max. Bullion Max will ship gold and silver directly to your door for you to hold at your home or in your own safe. To help you get started, I worked out a special offer with them. Get Bullion Max Silver Starter Kit at employee pricing. Just go to bullionmax.com/RTD. This kit includes 5 of the most desirable silver products to invest in, including the American Silver Eagle and the Silver Australian Kangaroo. This offer is limited to 1 per household while supplies last, so get yours today and take advantage of this opportunity to get your weight up. Now, you can't just stop at getting your weight up. You also got to get your calories up because definitely a food shortage is underway between droughts, flooding, and all the climate issues being thrown our way. America's food supply is near its breaking point. That's why survival food is more important than ever. Create your own stockpile of the best-selling 4 Patriot survival food kits. It's not ordinary food. We're talking about 25 years super survival food, hand-packed right in the family-owned facility in the USA. The kits are compact, sturdy, water-resistant. They have different delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Go to 4patriots.com/RTD to get your 3-month survival kit. You'll get their famous guarantee for an entire year after your order, plus 10 free gifts and free shipping. To take advantage of this opportunity, go to 4patriots.com/RTD to build your own stockpile today, because beyond the weight, you're going to need your calories as well. Links in the description.
All right, let's jump right into it. So officially, it has been announced as D-Day. So everything goes black. And so everything in the UK goes black, media goes black, and they have everything prepared for the following processes of ushering in the king. And so here's just the current website of the royal.uk. And it shows a picture of the queen here and just some formalities here. But I wanted to jump into you. So for those who are interested, I shared a link to a 5-minute synopsis of Operation London Bridge, which is the formal process that's underway right now. And so based upon all the media stuff that's sent around the world and everybody been caught up to speed as to the next following days and weeks, it was towards the end of this video here were the things that interest me more. And it has a lot to do with the beginning of the currency changes. And so how convenient is it that in the midst of all this currency crisis, great reset talk, we get word that the monarch is shifting, the queen is passed, whether she just did or been passed, who knows? And that's another thing I put out there in a telegram. I'm like, apart from people who are a part of the older generation, a lot of the younger generation, especially if you're not from the UK region, most people don't really have any real sense of loss or remorse for the queen passing, because majority of people, they don't even know anything about her. So my thought I put out there to the community was, what exactly has she done? Like, other than being born into a very, very privileged position based upon a political and governmental structure from yesteryears, hasn't been the greatest example of what a true and righteous government should be. And that nevertheless, she's enjoyed the fruits of other people's labor and have completely ransacked nations and countries. And to this day, they still have a governing authority over a lot of entities. And a lot of it has to do with the current currency, and the currency shift is underway. At the same time, the Canadian dollar, the British pound, and Australian dollar, and all those other currencies that have her name on it, they're about to go through a remake. At the same time, they're talking about a central bank digital currency. And so will there be an actual paper note with the king's face on it? It's to be determined, because I don't think this political transition will be as smooth as it has been in times past. But real quick, thumb through some headlines. Then I'd love to get your thoughts about what's going on. And so somebody mentioned earlier debt jubilee. I can definitely see that. And of course, a lot of people look into, the Shemitah year and all the biblical prophecies and things of that nature. Okay, I can ride with that. But September in of itself is always a very volatile time frame. And then you factor in how they're intentionally trying to bring things down. That just spells a double whammy altogether. But anyway, let's keep it moving, man. Let me just go through a couple headlines real quick. So this caught my attention as well, because we're going to go through the next. So just as a heads up, what we should expect. that doesn't fare too well for the overall global economy. Not only has the British pound, let me share this with you real quick here. Not only has the British pound not been doing too well, on top of the energy debacle and everything like that, from a financial standpoint, they're completely falling to shambles there. But then we have tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, in accordance to the plan within Operation London Bridge, will be a national bank holiday where there will be the closing of all banks as well as businesses, supposedly. I'm not sure if that's going to play out, and the stock market there. So their economy comes to a complete halt, which costs is not free to shut down an entire economy heading into the weekend. So basically, there's going to be some repercussions from that, because as the author of that little short video mentioned, that will add up from the funeral costs, the transition process globally, because the monarch's position is just not isolated in the UK. They have to coordinate and everything with all their surrounding territories and things of that nature. It's going to equate to billions and billions of pounds before the end of the day. And that's not factoring all the changes to the structural assets that the monarch still has a part in, whether it be the stamps, all need to be changed, passports, all need to be changed, all the military, the fire department, everything that was expressed the crown under the queen needs to be redone. At the same time, we're having a reset. So it just spells very, very problematic times. Anyway, I don't think the people, and my hope is that the people, and this is just not just to be 100%, man. I hope the people don't take this. Like, what better way to get rid of that governing structure, which has done absolutely nothing from the to offer nothing to society, in my opinion. I could be very naive because I've never grown up under that model. But to my knowledge, the crown has done nothing of benefit that has helped humanity one bit, other than suppress and put the boot on people's neck globally for hundreds of years. And so I would imagine the younger population within our country there should not be so tolerant of just allowing the queen to pass and then a king be ushered in, which only costs the taxpayers of the UK and all their surrounding territories. So I'm hoping that there's some type of change there, just because the whole government structure with the prime minister and the cabinets, all that's a sham in the first place. So, yeah, this would be a great time to see some real change in that country, because it's going to ripple effect all around the world. Anyway, let me get to a couple headlines here, and I'll stop boring you guys. Here is something. This goes into more of the details of the Operation London Bridge. So it says Queen Elizabeth II has died as 96. Here's what happens next for the throne, the currency, and more. And it's a very detailed and elaborate process, man. This thing, like literally the country and basically the world. Ultimately, this from this little video that I shared here, they're talking about ultimately there's going to be a shakeup of the world because of the reach that the crown has had over humanity for the last 50 plus years of her reign, especially, but just the crown's presence on the planet. And what better time to shake things up right now than other world leaders and governments decide to not continue to follow suit under that current model, because it hasn't worked well. It has failed completely. And this will be a great time for some better suggestions that have nothing to do with a continuation of what has oppressed mankind. But I encourage you guys, if you have it, you got 5 minutes, click the link below, watch this 5-minute spiel, you get the full shebang. But at the very end of this, he talks about how his concern, because it was put together a couple of years ago in reference to the process that would occur when she died. But anyway, they were saying that a lot of countries that's under their care or whatever won't be around much longer as far as wanting to continue that model. So that's what led me to believe it's going to be a much greater shakeup on top of all the other things that are possibly there. And it could be happening this month in September. So that's nothing new to you guys. Just more things here. These are just some general articles here that I want to bring your attention. But the most important thing is check out this video, Operation London Bridge, because you'll get a chance to get more up to date on what's happening in reference to the process. But here's some things that is going to occur. There will be approximately 2 bank holidays. So one following tomorrow, and then one, it says anywhere between 10 to 12 days after it's announced that she's passed, there will be the funeral procession. And of course, all types of festivities, parades, a complete shutdown of the nation. And then there'll be a second bank holiday on that same day. So within the month of September, there's going to be 2 bank holidays, and the shutting down of the entire economy in the UK at a time that they can't really afford it. So to me, that spells a trigger for some type of event as well. Just because if all the systems financially are interconnected, you can't just happen to shut down here and then not impact another nation as well. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on. So could this be the trigger on top of what we're expecting from what the Pope warned us about, and as well as the derivatives explosion in Europe in reference to the possible bailout of those energy companies? So man, things are unraveling a lot faster than we all could have imagined. But now we just wait and see how things play out. And because we're anticipating something, I assume everybody here is anticipating something. Hopefully, you've been taking advantage of the time as far as getting as much of what you need on a day-to-day basis in your possession, realizing that we're entering into a very turbulent time where I don't think we've seen anything in comparison to probably what's coming in the future. So anyway, got more thoughts, but I'll say that for later. So let me hear from you guys. What do you guys feel about this currency shift? Because it's a slow process of basically bringing back all the coins and paper to eventually roll out the King's coins and paper. At the same time, they're talking about going to CBDC around that time frame. So I don't see that working out either. Let me see here. It says, what big distraction is being planned here in the UK while everyone is watching the propaganda news? UK financial. That is a very good point. That is a very good point, because it's always something on the other side of the mainstream narrative that we don't hear about until maybe a week or two after. So could something be going on right now or going down right now? It's very probable. And, whoever mentioned earlier that the Queen had already passed a while back, and it's just being mentioned now, literally that news could have been held off until now for whatever they're trying to cover up. And of course, I can go far, tinfoil, showing you guys got to watch a lot of videos and a variety of things. But based upon a lot of the demonic things that I see from videos that people put together, where, you really have to question the humanity of a lot of those people, just because of the things they're associated with and the forces that they've pledged their allegiance to are necessarily not of this world. And so I always question just overall, like what's really going on at that level, because we all know that it's very demonic up there. Oh, let me see here. Let me see. Regina says her passing will be a major distraction that the news media can use. Oh, 100%. Because it's going for the rest of September, for the rest of this month, it's basically going to be, unlimited Queen coverage, and pretty much all around the world to cover up something else. So this could literally be the primary or leading story for a lot of news sources, while there's probably some type of financial, because mind you, everything we're witnessing has to do with the global monetary structure at the top, and underneath that, all the claims of financial products that have been put together to basically prop up this monetary system, all wrapped up in a big debt bubble. And so did something burst behind the scenes? And as a result of that, they need the ultimate cover up, which would get everybody's attention, which could be the Queen. And then on top of that, to talk more about the energy issues in Europe and how the deliberate cutoff of energy from Russia at this current moment has triggered the derivatives malfunction to where, they said that 1.5 trillion in reference to just the margin call, like just the debts that are due, is just the beginning. That's just a fraction of what they need. And of course, no derivatives just exist in and of itself. It's always interconnected with something else. Somebody's asset is another person's liability, and somebody's bet is another person's problem on the other end. So that 1.5 trillion that was just a ballpark figure ultimately is a part of the 2 quadrillion plus that is just well beyond my understanding. So I'll just basically say that 1.5 is literally it's pennies compared to what's at stake if the things get out of control to where they lose control of it completely. So who knows? But these are just the things that keep eye on. So there will be a currency reset for sure. So basically, UK is going through a currency reset right now as a result of this, but I don't think it's going to play out the way that they want it to, because between the slow withdrawal of those Queen notes and the possible talking about rolling out the the King's notes, there's going to be some hiccups in between. And I wouldn't be surprised if the King's version of a currency happens to be in the form of the CBDC that they so badly want, as a result of the UK economy probably coming to complete collapse pretty soon, in similar fashion as in Europe, as well as the US and everywhere else around the world. Tony B says Operation Golden Orb was predicted years before. Tony B, fill us in on Operation Golden Orb. I don't think I've heard that term before. Peter says, watching the news today makes me realize how we are programmed. Let's face it, none of us have their level of privilege, and we would do a lot more good. Peter, that's a great point, man. I would like to hope that's the case, but once again, absolute power tends to corrupt, especially in this current environment, given the fact that the current principalities and powers that govern this whole realm here in and of itself are evil in and of themselves. So I would like to think that most people would do good, but somehow, some way, evil has a way of working its way into people's hearts, and what starts off as being good sometimes end up going the wrong way. And that's the idea that, apart from Jesus Christ, none of us have any smidget of righteousness in us. That's the part that, we're all going to find out at some point in the future. Tony B says, look up all the royal things that happened on September 9th. That happens on September 9th. I have I'll probably look it up later on. I will have time now, but just for reference for anybody who want to get a more detailed glimpse as to all the processes, feel free to do so. He said, this Operation Golden Orb, the secret plans for Charles and Camilla's coronation. Okay, that's some real insight there, my friend. Appreciate it. So yeah, in the next couple of days, it's going to be very interesting, to say the least. And on top of that, there are some built-in bank holidays to start. And for the coronation of Prince Charles is going to be the 3rd. So, and that's going to come supposedly a couple months after the fact. So just a quick synopsis for those who want to find out, this little short video here gives more details. But anyway, bank holidays never equal anything good for the actual depositors, just because, as we all know, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. And by now, I'm hoping and trusting that a lot of people who realize what's at stake here, you only are willing to keep in the hands of other people as much as you're willing to lose. If it comes down to that, there's just too many warning signs to not take this seriously as far as what's at stake. Anything that's owed to you in the future, broken promises will be more than plentiful. We've had enough events throughout history to tell us that's the case. So anyway, I just want to check in for a quick minute, share my 2 cents on some things. Check out the video beneath this video here for more insights. And then we'll connect back tonight with the call-in portion. Definitely give me a call. Let me know your thoughts, because it's many different angles we can take on this, but I couldn't cover them all in one session. So I rely upon you guys for your thoughts as well. So anyway, hit that thumbs up button, share this if you find any value here, and let's come back tonight and talk a little bit more. Be blessed. Be safe. Peace.
The next recession.
Recession will be a recession.
We're going to hit a recession.
The date of the next recession.
A U.S.-only recession typically lasts 8 to 10 months.
A crash is coming. Now, whether it's 6 months from now, 12 months, 36 months, no one knows.
If you have the right plan to set up, you can make a lot of money from this.